Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mila, your Alexandrian Archives, and today we have another individual book review, and that book review is A Game of Thrones. I did it. I guess this is the year of reading classical fantasy and somehow loving it and beating myself up mentally for not reading it earlier. Actually, no. In this case, I'm glad that I didn't read it earlier, because I would have been so much more traumatized. Anyway, so if I'm looking at my computer, I'm checking whether or not I'm in frame, first off. And then I'm also checking my sort of small Canva review thing that I put on my stories for notes. So, Game of Thrones. I did it. This is the big paperback version. I have a vlog up for it, so if you'd like to see all my reactions, all the fun stuff I did during the week that I read this, go check that out. I will link it down below and somewhere in the cards. Anyways, so, Game of Thrones. What is it about? The funniest thing about classical fantasy is that I've noticed that I actually don't know the synopsis. Like, I don't know what is written on the back. Like, I've never read the back. I know the overall story, right? Like, there's war and there's violence and then there's 18 plus scenes. I don't want to get yelled at by YouTube. But I don't know what is actually written on the back. And it was the same with Lord of the Rings. And it was so funny. It was really funny. It was truly really funny. So that was really funny. So basically in this one, we follow various characters. It's various POVs. And I have not watched the TV show, so I literally went into this knowing there were dragons and a girl named Daenerys with white hair, who's the mother of dragons, and someone named Ned Stark, who's played by Sean Bean, and therefore I shouldn't get attached to him because he's going to get killed. And then someone named Robb, someone named Jon, who's the bastard, but also somehow a Targaryen. Someone named Sansa, played by Sophie Turner, who's the ex-wife of Joe Jonas. Oh man, who's the actress who plays Arya? Arya's actress. I know her face. I don't remember her name. And a few other notable actors that I recognize, but I just don't know their name. Anyways, so this, ladies and gentlemen, what is this about? So, how I go about doing my reviews is I usually give you a brief synopsis, and then I give you my thoughts, my review, rating somewhere along those lines, and then I tell you who I would recommend it for, basically. Give me a second. Alright, so yeah, grab a snack, grab a drink. I'm gonna eat some chocolate, because why not? So basically, a synopsis. Alright, let's get through to the synopsis. I'm just gonna read the cover, because I feel like that's the easiest thing to do. Long ago, in a time forgotten, preternatural event threw the seasons out of balance. In a land where summers can last decades and winters a lifetime, trouble is brewing. The cold is returning, and in the frozen wastes to the north of Winterfell, sinister and supernatural forces are massing beyond the kingdom's protective wall. At the center of the conflict lie the Starks of Winterfell, a family as harsh and unyielding as the land they were born to. Sweeping from a land of brutal cold to a distant summertime kingdom of Epicurean plenty, here's a tale of lords and ladies, soldiers and sorcerers, assassins and bastards, who come together in a time of grim omens. Here, an enigmatic band of warriors bear swords of no man-made metal. A tribe of fierce wildlings carry men off into madness. Cruel young dragon prince barters his sister to win back his throne, and a determined woman undertakes the most treacherous of journeys. Amid plots and counterplots, tragedy and betrayal, victory and terror, the fate of the Starks, their allies, and their enemies hang perilously in the balance as each endeavors to win the deadliest of conflicts, the Game of Thrones. So, I love the new cover, and I think that once I finish reading these books, I'm gonna ask for the new cover set for Christmas, maybe. Or I'll just buy myself, because sometimes it's easier to buy things yourself. So here are a few notes. There are a few characters that I would punch on sight. For example, Cersei Lannister. You will catch these freaking hands. Joffrey. You will catch these hands. Jaime. Also catch these hands. Jon Snow is one of my favorite characters. I love him. I love Tyrion. I love how witty he is. Viserys Targaryen is also someone I would punch on sight, and I will personally be putting him 6 feet under. Thank you. Daenerys is an interesting character because people might come into this thinking that Daenerys is older than she actually is because they aged her up in the show. And you're gonna be in for a very rude awakening, because it's gonna be a slap to the face. Daenerys is 13 when she marries Khal Drogo, and that man is like 30. So I don't think people realize how young 13 is. She's 14 when she realizes she's pregnant with Khal Drogo's son. She is 14 when he dies and she loses her babe. And she becomes the Khaleesi and by herself, and the only surviving member of the Targaryen family. So yeah, fun stuff. So just an FYI, Daenerys is younger. A lot of the characters were aged up in the show, because yeah, we have child loss, unlike, Westeros. Anyways, Viserys is an asshole, and I hate him. The Stark siblings, I love them. Their bond is so cute. I love them. They will never, ever be happy ever again. I know that because I got attached, and so that means that they will never have a happy ending. So, Ned's dead, which is fun. I got attached to him. I loved him. Baelish, Joffrey, they could never make me like you. Sansa deserves the world, not Joffrey. Thank you. The area is cool. Like where, what's her face? Lisa Arryn was? Or Lena? Anyways, something Arryn. The wife of Jon Arryn. That lady, Catelyn Stark's sister. That one. No thanks though, because I have a fear of heights. Speaking of, I would not survive in the north. Yes, I'm half Russian. Yes, I come from a country where it's 90% mountains. No, I would still not survive. I'm from the city. I'm a city girl. Dany's an icon for hatching 3 dragons. Mother of dragons, indeed. Lastly, I know no king but the king in the north, whose name is Stark. Anyways, so let's. Those were my thoughts. Okay, those were my thoughts. My rating is 4.75 stars, just because some of the things made me uncomfortable. And if it doesn't make you uncomfortable, you need to check yourself, because it should make you uncomfortable. Especially the fact that Dany's 13 and then 14 should make you uncomfortable. Some of the things, obviously, I knew going in that there would be like a lot of like vulgarity and a lot of like spicy scenes and a lot of violence, but doesn't mean I have to like it, right? So 0.25 taken off. Who would I recommend this for? It takes a very specific high fantasy reader to read this and enjoy them. So I think if you like the show, I think you'd enjoy the books. If you liked House of the Dragon, you would enjoy the books. If you like high fantasy, can't really think of anything that has the same level of like violence and gore, but I guess if you read like dark, grim fantasy, because I feel like that's the most similar thing, like Joe Abercrombie, The Blade itself, or something like that, I feel like you'd enjoy this because it probably has a similar level of like, I guess, violence and sort of the same vibes, I guess. I don't want to say, like, Brandon Sanderson fans, I feel like if you've only read Brandon Sanderson as like the big high fantasy name, you will like this, barring the vulgarity, the spice scenes, the violence, the just all that stuff. I don't think you will like it because Sanderson definitely doesn't go that route at all, right? So yeah, I really liked Martin's writing. I find that he writes very compelling characters and a very compelling landscape. And yeah, I guess, yeah, I'd say that's sort of the whole vibe of it, I guess. And don't read it if you're not ready to wait a mystery number of years for the conclusion. And I know that people are saying that George R. R. Martin is old and that he might die soon. Guys, his age, he's not that old. I do want to say. Like, he's not that old. He's like, what, 70 something? Like, my grandparents are older than that. Relax. Oops. He's not that old. Relax. He's 75. Okay, this is nothing. 75 years old. He's fine. It's not the end of the world, okay? It's really not. Don't worry. Like, y'all are fine. It's not that bad, okay? It's not a bad thing. Don't worry. Like, he's not gonna die anytime soon unless he's actually, like, ill or something, which then I'd be concerned about. But I don't think that... I also don't think the theory that, like, he wanted the show ending, and that's why he's not releasing Winds of Winter and he's reworking it, is a viable theory, because he said that there are some things that he definitely changed, and that there's some characters that die in the TV show that live, and some characters that live in the TV show will die in the book. So I just don't think that theory is entirely viable, because... Sorry, I just had to put my hair up, it was bothering me. Because it just doesn't make sense, and considering the level of writing, the level of thought behind every single piece of information he gives you and just every single thing about the books, I don't think that he would take like this easy way out that would cause such disarray in the fandom and such hatred towards the last season. I just think that he knows his craft, and I feel like we just have to trust him that he will finish it properly, because I think that he will, and he's not gonna die anytime soon. Relax. Like, he's not gonna die soon. Relax. Like, he's fine. He's not gonna die soon. He's okay. Anyways, that's my review for Game of Thrones. I did love this series. I am reading Clash of Kings at the moment, but that's been sidetracked by another book. That's been put to the side by another book. I am, like, reading it. I am gonna read it once I finish the other book, but, yeah. Highly recommend, and I will see you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe, follow me on all my socials. Let me know your thoughts down below, and I will see you in the next one. Happy reading!